we've been talking so much about postseason ball here on this channel, and I mean, that is what is happening. However, I love articles like this. I love shitting on bad decisions.
Yeah.
And this article by Bleacher Report is all about bad decisions and bad performances. We're gonna take a moment here and dive through what Zachary Reimer had to write about each MLB team's nightmare contract by 2026. So effectively, in a couple years, you are going to hate that this guy is on your team, and you are going to hate how much you are paying him. And there is absolutely some conversation starters in this article, man. I want to start with somebody here that I genuinely completely forgot even plays baseball. Seriously. Like, I mean, the second that he went over to this ball team, he left the limelight entirely, and it's just been, where are you? Chris Bryant, first baseman. I didn't even know that he was first baseman now.
I guess they moved him over.
That's the thing. Like,
Ryan McMahon. Yeah, I guess he's third.
I wouldn't know because I haven't thought about Chris Bryant in years. He signed a massive contract over there by the Colorado Rockies years and years and years ago. He's going to be a free agent in 2029, getting paid so much money a year, 7 years, $182 million. Dude, this guy was fucking terrible this year.
He's not only this year. I mean, actually, his first year when he went to the Rockies in 42 games.
Yeah, very small sample size.
He did do Chris Bryant level kind of stuff, typical Chris Bryant numbers. But now, last 2 years, again, hurt. 80 games last year, 37 games this year, and it's combined for a total OPS of 663. Like, why is he hurt all the time? And when he is on the field, I feel like these numbers got to be reflective of him just being hurt all the time.
Right.
Like, I feel like maybe he could have been better. Maybe the numbers could have looked better if he was healthy. We will never know. But obviously that contract's looking like garbage because I don't even believe you have a full season. No, you don't even have a full season, 162 games in the last 3 years of Chris Bryant.
Wow,
that's awful.
That is brutal, right? So you've had 3 years of Bryant, and you've barely even seen him on the field. And when he is on the field, you want to turn away because it's just not. It's not been good. I mean, I do agree with you that I think these numbers are very reflective of the fact that he has just been so hurt.
Yeah.
Because you go to Colorado, you're supposed to be better at hitting, right? The numbers are supposed to go up, and they have dropped like a stone. I don't know, man.
Didn't he say he regretted going to Colorado, or was there something like that?
Okay, yeah. So Chris Bryant, that's the thing, right? Bad decisions for both sides here could be. He came out, and afterwards he backpedaled on this.
Right.
But he said that he didn't do, and he wished he would have done more research about the prospect systems and the farm systems.
And it takes 2 seconds.
That's the thing. Like, he didn't look into enough of like the future of like where these teams are going. So again, like, he backpedaled on that pretty quickly because he was getting some serious hate online, obviously. I would say you are dumb as nails.
How do you not even look up Rockies prospects?
Right.
I probably look up prospects every other day for this job. Your job as a baseball player, when you're making a decision, should be you should think about it.
Well,
and not do that.
And also, too, man, like, it's Colorado.
Yeah. Have you been noticing their win-loss record in the last little bit?
Have you been under a fucking rock over there?
Yeah.
When you were on Chicago and San Francisco,
seriously.
It's like, where were you, dude?
Yeah.
This is not a good baseball team, and people don't want to play here. So, yeah, I think he said that, and I would imagine, like, I could understand where he's coming from in the sense you probably got your big payday, and you're like, smash, accept. Didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, wait, I'm so far out of the limelight, people forget that I even exist.
For real.
But, again, dude, you gotta show up, and right now that hasn't been the case. So Chris Bryant, one of the worst contracts in baseball, even now, let alone 2026.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that, man. Hopefully he can bounce back. How old is this guy?
32.
Now? Okay.
Going to be turning 33. Like, in next year, he'll be 33.
Maybe he's got a year or two left in his
That's the
career.
thing. Like, I still think like
he'd be good.
He would be a good baseball player. It's just when you're never healthy, like, it's really hard to get going.
Yeah. No, I agree. I want to talk about one guy on this list that it's very interesting because it's a few guys on this list that, like, they haven't yet underperformed, but they're projecting he's going to underperform. And one of those guys is Josh Hader. When you look at Josh Hader, this year, you're like, okay, like, not a terrible year, but again, you're expecting Josh Hader numbers. 34 saves, ERA of 3.80, whip under 1 of 0.95. You're like, okay, that's cool. He is getting paid a lot of money, almost $20 million per year. But on this article, they're saying, oh, well, he's going to get worse because he isn't striking out guys as much as he did in 2018 to 2022. His fastball velocity and whiff rate aren't what they used to be. And also, his run of never going on the IL with an actual injury is frankly unsustainable, which, I mean, again, that's just like pulling something out of nowhere. But he's healthy, so eventually he'll get hurt. That's kind of a weak argument right there. But you can argue that the whiff rate's down, the velocity's down, and that this was a lesser year, so maybe you're projecting that this is the beginning of the decline. But again, the bullpen guys are so all over the place. But they're saying in the next 2 years it's going to be a bad contract.
I don't know. I think that's kind of bullshit for me.
Yeah,
the strikeout per 9 is down a little bit, but last year it's effectively the exact same strikeout per 9 that he had last year, and last year he had a 1.28 ERA.
Yeah.
You look at the whip. Like, I actually think that ERA is kind of wild that it's that high, because when you look at his whip of 0.958, that's really, really good.
Weak contact and getting ground balls and pop-ups.
That's really good. And you look at his career, right? That the closest year to that whip was back in 2020. That was a small sample size, but really good then.
Right.
We're talking about a player who's still got it, in my opinion, for right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I understand where they're coming from. I think that it's always really dangerous, though, when you sign bullpen guys to these
to big contracts.
Type of contract. Now, that is where baseball is going. If you truly have a lockdown closer, that is super valuable.
Yeah.
But it's really rare, and it's hard to come by. I hope that he can finish out strong, though, because I think that if you see success from one of these guys who got paid a shitload, then you're going to continue to see guys get paid,
right?
And I do want that for closers and stuff. I think they do get the raw end of it, a lot of times.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. But I also, I can't be saying in 2 years his contract's going to look like ass, because it's still Josh Hader, and you still know that this guy is going to give you a veteran outing every time. He's going to give you a smart outing. So that one's kind of weird. This one, though, however, we're talking about injuries. We're talking about veterans. Mike Trout. Mike Trout, man, I for the last couple of years, I've been rooting for this guy to get back to health. You look at all the numbers before 2020. I really don't count 2020 at all. When he was healthy, just unreal. The amount of bold and italicized numbers you see on his Baseball Reference is incredible. Literally, the conversation was, this guy is already on his way to Cooperstown. He's one of the greatest players in our generation. We look at Juan Soto. People look at Juan Soto like we looked at Mike Trout. We're like, holy crap! And he did it for so long. And now, in the last 4 years, he's played only 266 games. So that's like a season and a half of baseball. And on the field, when he's healthy, my goodness, great stuff. OPS of 951, batting average of 276. He's driven in 76 home runs in a year and a half. Holy shit. This guy's awesome. So opposite for Chris Bryant, when he's hurt and on the field, he sucks. Whereas when Mike Trout's back, he's amazing. But you still are paying this guy a gigantic contract of $426 million. And now he's 33 right now, but we'll start 33 next year. So now he's starting to get the question of when's the age going to kick in? When is he going to keep getting injured? Are we overpaying?
I think the age has already kicked in, not in terms of his talent, but just in terms of the body is not holding up the way that it used to, right?
Right. Yeah.
But we always remember Mike Trout. He played a hard brand of baseball. Back in those early years, dude. We're talking about a guy who had 49 stolen bases. He was running all over everyone.
Yeah.
And you talk about Cooperstown. He is going to be in. He's going to be there regardless of what happens here. But it's really sad to see when somebody has still got it as good as Mike Trout does, and they just cannot stay on the field. You look at that contract. He got paid $37 million this year. He's going to get paid $37 million next year, and the year after that, the year after that, the year after that, and the year after that.
Free agent 2031.
Correct.
That's nuts.
So this isn't going away anytime soon, and for the LA Angels to even think about competing in anytime soon.
know.
This has got to be something that rectifies itself. Now, it's not all Mike Trout's fault. I really do believe that, like, you look at his body and, like, the guy is fucking ripped, right?
yeah,
like,
he's in great
I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's not like he's, like, not taking care of his body.
If he's like Stanton, he's almost too ripped.
That's the thing.
You
Like,
know?
whatever is going on with the conditioning just needs to change. Now, I think that you've gotten really unlucky, and I really do think that you still have it because every time you're there, you're doing it. But, like, this is a big problem for Mike Trout, for the LA Angels. You know? It's got to be better.
Yeah, like LA Angels are kind of, they're kind of in a lot of trouble because I just looked. Anthony Rendon's not even on this list, which I think is already a bad contract.
It's terrible. It's been terrible.
It's been terrible for so long. But you have two guys getting paid. Well, he's getting paid over $400 million, Mike Trout, over $300 million for Anthony Rendon. It's like that's $700 million. That's not
gone
doing anything for you. Like that's gonna sink your franchise for the next decade.